This time we are looking at Voice of Cards, The Isle Dragon Roars. This is a really fun game, and it reminds me of a lot of the card battle games that came out, specifically like the Pokemon trading card game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is another one. There was also Monster Rancher card battle as well. The game looks pretty simple, to be perfectly honest. I kind of like it because it works with this whole tabletop feel that they're going for. You move your characters, which is just looks like a game piece around your board. You occasionally run into monsters, and you have to fight them in a pretty fun way. You get these different gems that come into play, and you use different skills in order to deal damage to the monsters. Each monster, you can clearly see their hit points, you can see how much damage they would do, you can see what their defense is. It's just kind of a fun and cool little RPG to play. So the main story is you are on a quest to defeat a dragon. The dragon doesn't seem to really have a name, you just are going out to try to get it. And your entire goal is you want the reward. That's pretty much it. You don't really, at least at first, you don't really care about any of the people. You just want, like, fame and money. You meet a few other characters along the way. They've got their own motivations. Some of them also need money because they're in debt. Others just really hate monsters for whatever reason. And some of them just kind of want to get away from their home. Each character is kind of quirky and fun. They you can watch them grow, like they change, they have their own story arcs. It's just kind of cool to watch this whole thing play out, because no one really seems like your traditional hero in this. You're following, or not really following, but there are three other heroes. And I use that term very loosely. There are three other heroes in this who are always stronger than you and seem to just kind of one-up you, or when they show up, they're just kind of like, well, thanks, kiddo. You did a really good job, but now we're here to take over, so kind of just get out of our way. It's sort of funny to watch that. At least I was sometimes laughing, other times I was like, really? It's like your big brother shows up and he just sort of pushes you out of the way and, just takes the reward or whatever. It's kind of funny in a way, but yeah, it's kind of hard to explain a little bit. It's just part of the humor of this game, of which they really go in on. I really love the humor in this. Most of the story kind of comes from a narrator who is always there with you and is often pretty snarky about what's going on. Like, when you make a choice, which you think should be pretty straightforward, where it's like, do you want to pull the bucket out of the well in order to get well water to put out this house fire? You do it, and then it's like, yeah, and you weren't strong enough, you couldn't pull it out because, you didn't have any dinner that day. And it's just sort of like, oh, my guy who's supposed to be like the big hero is kind of a fuck up. And he just isn't really the hero that he should be, or that you would expect him to be. Or there are other choices where you pick something and it turns out that it's not going to give you the exact thing that you thought it would. It's just a very humorous game. I really love playing this. It's been a lot of fun so far. I'm only about 6 hours into it or so it's gonna get a little bit more serious as it goes along. Or at least I'm expecting it to. I've already run into one or two stories that seem a little bit more dire, like it has some higher stakes to it than what, normally happens. It's kind of weird, the stuff that you go on a quest for, at least all the side quests. It'll be like, oh, my treasure has been stolen or something. So you'll be like, okay, we'll go find it. You go into a cave, you find where the treasure is, and immediately the 3 characters who are supposed to be the big heroes in it will show up, just kind of push you out of the way, take the treasure, and leave you with, like, a doll. Like, they just sort of left, like, this raggedy doll in there for you. So you pick that up, and you're like, okay, well, this is all we've got left. Let's bring it back and see if the guy wants it. And it turns out that was what he was looking for the entire time. So, yeah, it kind of plays with your, or messes with your expectations a little bit. It's just pretty, it's pretty cool, pretty fun. I've been having a lot of fun with it. If you've been wanting, like, a more, kind of a more traditional RPG, something that might remind you of, like, I don't know, if you played Dungeons and Dragons with your friends, this might remind you of that, because it's not super serious. Or if you liked playing card games, this is probably going to remind you a bit of that. It's just kind of a different way of playing these. It's not going to be super complicated. It's pretty easy to figure out. There are a few things with this, like you find, like, a lot of the weaknesses with monsters. Some of them will be pretty obvious. Some of them might take a little bit longer. Yeah, the combat's really simple. It's very easy to figure out. The story's kind of fun. It's just a great game. At least I like it. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. Oh, the art style is pretty cool. Oh, and the gem system is very nice. You get a new one each turn, so each character, you add another gem to your little pool. Some attacks take more gems than others to use. Yeah, that's pretty much it to this whole thing. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and have a great day, everybody.